Hey there, fellow adult collectors. Welcome back. David Eon here with a treat up from the museum for your consideration today. The Hardy Boys, the 1978 Hardy Boys 12-inch action figure. Complete series because they only made two. They didn't even bother to make outfits. And looking at them straight on, for all intents and purposes, these are dolls. Because if you look at that, you say, okay, yeah, doll body. And by the way, these are the same bodies from the Kenner Star Wars Deluxe action figures, which are also kind of technically dolls because of the way that they're designed. But it does say action figure right there. Hardy Boys Joe Hardy action figure. Hardy Boys Frank Hardy action figure. So we're just going to go ahead and call them action figures. Why not? Now, this is a television show that was loosely based on a Filmation cartoon that was very loosely based on the original book series written by or created by Edward Stratemeyer in 1927 under the pen name Frank Dixon, who also wrote the Nancy Drew Mysteries under the pen name Carolyn Keene. So in 1969, they came up with this idea of making a cartoon that was Filmation, but they turned the Hardy Boys into a band. So they actually had a band and they sang. If you're old enough to remember this, it was only on for a couple of seasons, 69 to 71, Saturday morning cartoon stuff by Filmation. And it was very Scooby-Doo-ish. You know, they had a rock band. They had other band members, Chubby and Pete and Wanda. And when they weren't like major rock stars, they were solving crimes. And Filmation and RCA Records got together and even went so far as to create an actual fictional band, live action real singers to associate themselves with the cartoon. And the less said about that, the better. And that's, if you ever saw the live action show, this Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew Mysteries, if you ever wondered where the concept for why the hell are they like a boy band, why are they musicians, that's where it came from. It was from the Filmation adaptation. And of course, this ran from 77 to 79, 3 full seasons. I've only got season 1 right here. And it was a bad show. It's fun to watch. It's Mystery Science worthy. Badly acted and badly written, but it's still fun to watch because it's so ridiculously cheesy, with the exception of Pamela Sue Martin there. Pamela Sue Martin was an actual actress, and of course Sean Cassidy and Parker Stevenson were not, and you could tell that they were not actors watching the two of them performing on the show. Poor Pamela Sue, who was an actor and did the best she could, didn't get an action figure. She didn't get a doll. Kenner only ever made these two and then pulled the plug on the project because it just wasn't working out. They were shelf warmers. Now, you notice that these are flap style, which is a very popular way to package these in the 1970s. The flaps on these are actually in really good condition, which is rare for any figure this size from this time period, whether it's made by Mego or Mattel or whoever made it. Finding an intact flap is difficult because a lot of people folded those flaps and used them for lids. As you see, it's perfectly sized to the other end of the box, so people would fold these over. These two are not folded, and that's rare. And I'll show you here. If you haven't seen that before, I'm sure most of you have. That's how the flap goes. And the reason that they did that was so that they can invert it for packaging, because they will fit together perfectly like a puzzle, just like that. And so you can put like 8, 10 of these in a box. Now the artwork on these is kind of rudimentary for the time period. Usually artwork is exceptional on some of these vintage toys, but they really didn't invest very much in these two. Now look at the size of those platforms. As a matter of fact, they even used the same overlay. If you look at their legs and the positioning of the shoes, it's almost in the same exact position. There's Sean Cassidy there, and again the artwork is rather rudimentary even on the back of the packaging. It's just like a regular pencil sketch there. They really didn't invest much in the artwork, which is kind of, again, surprising for the time period. And I'll show you the art on the back of the box. You'll see what I mean. I still appreciate the artwork. At least they did some artwork. Nowadays they don't bother. And here you get like a simulated autograph. And then another sketch. Let's see if we can get Joe Hardy in there a little better. And then over here, it's the exact same sketch, basically reworked to reverse the characters. And that's really all they did. If I back up here, you can see from the positioning, that's all. They just had a rudimentary outline and then just redrew over it. So they really had a low budget for this. And then there's Joe Hardy's autograph on the back here. And they were just, you know, musician slash models. So, again, they couldn't act. The acting was terrible on the show. And this was a Sunday morning broadcast. You might remember this in your foggy child memory as being a Saturday morning live action show. It was not. It was actually broadcast on Sundays. Sunday mornings, sorry to say. Still have the original price tags on them. Toyco, $8.99. Whatever the new price is, I have no idea because someone peeled it off, and that is only sticker residue. That is not damage to the packaging. I just never bothered to take the rest of it out. And then on the top of this one, just to give you an idea of what these used to go for, that says True Value Hardware. That's True Value. I'll give you a better view of that there. $9.97 reduced to $5. And again, neither of these have ever been opened. The Parker Stevenson, the blue box, is a lot harder to find, still sealed, for some reason. I don't know if they made more of Sean Cassidy or he was just less popular, but it's a lot easier to find this one than it is to find the Parker Stevenson version. And you see they both come with accessories, and you can see his pencils kind of right there. He comes with this amplifier and headset and two pencils, and then Sean comes with a guitar and two pencils, and they're decoders. See the little window here? I'll close up on it. That's actually one of those like red shields, and then the amplifier has one too that slides in and out on the top of the box so that you can write with the red and the blue pencil and look at it through the little window, and of course one color will show and one will not, and that's their little decoder prize that comes with the action figures. Very popular book series. There was over 300 Hardy Boys novels, if I'm not mistaken, and more than 500 of Nancy Drew, all created by, of course, Edward Stratemeyer. And, well, he didn't write them all, obviously. He didn't write them all. And most of his original ones, I think at least, like with the Hardy Boys, the first 38 or 40 or so, were reworked and revised some years ago because they were considered to be outdated. Outdated vernacular and phrasing, which I can understand because it was 20s speak, if you will, but also to hide any possible racial overtones that might have been in the books. So if you have an original Hardy Boys and then one of the modern reprints, they're going to be very different. Do you remember the show? Do you remember? I remember watching this show, and again, it's cheesy entertainment. It's just really badly done, but it's badly done in such a way that it's fun to watch, which, you know, Again, Mystery Science Theater, Riff Tracks, Cinematic Titanic, which are all part of the same family, if you will. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes a bad movie can still be good, and sometimes a bad TV show can still be good, and Hardy Boys is one of them. Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew Mysteries. Terrible acting, terrible writing, except for Pamela there. She did the best she could. but the boys were awful. And the hair was amazing. You see their perfect 70s hair. I mean, they would dive into a swimming pool and come up out of the other side, and then the hair would be perfectly blow dried. It's really funny to think about it. Did you ever watch this show? Do you remember watching this show on Sunday mornings? I sure do, and I could watch it again. I vaguely remember the cartoon in syndication. I'm not, I wouldn't have been watching it in 69 and 71, but I do kind of remember it. And of course, a lot of that stuff was shown in syndication, so I may have seen it, but I don't remember it that well. Maybe you do. Tell me about it in the comment section down below. Did you ever watch the live action or the cartoon? Did you ever read the books? Do you remember these action figures? Do you remember these, or have you ever seen them before? And if so, is this something that you would be interested in having in your collection? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got anything out of this. I hope you did. If you'd like to see more showcases, I do them all the time. I've got a ton of vintage showcases and a ton of modern unboxings of various figures, 6 scale and 12 scale, as well as other discussions and things that we do on this channel. If you're new to the channel, take a look around. We may surprise you yet. Find us on Instagram, Open by Chance on Instagram. And what more can I say but thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.